Okay, so this is the second part of variance analysis. Cost variance and sales variance we have already discussed. Today we focus to find out fixed overhead cost variance. So today we focus on this to find out এটা পুরাতন এটা নিয়ে যাবে ওটা আবার নিয়ে যাবে so in doing this or in calculating finding the variance related to fixed overhead cost I will provide you a chart. This chart will be very much helpful for you guys to calculate these kinds of variance. Calculate দেখো এখানে initially total fixed overhead variance. Initially you can find out this thing. Total fixed overhead variance. What will be that? We have discussed in earlier chapter when we actually go through overhead absorption rate. In that chapter we discussed the under over absorption, right? Under over absorption we calculate that is absorbed overhead and actual. We find out the difference between these two. Actual overhead. Absorb equal to OAR into actual unit activity and actual. Then we find out under or over. The fact is, if under absorption is there, that will be adverse variance, and if over variance is there, that will be favorable variance. Why the thing is just like that? See, absorbed. Absorb means your expectation. You are expecting this much cost may be there. Suppose, as for example, our absorbed is $10. Suppose. Actual overhead, the overhead that incurred after actual activity has, ongoing. Actual overhead, suppose as for example 15. So comparison, absorbed is 10, actual is 15. That means your expectation is $5 less than the actual, right? $5 less than actual. That's why there is under. That means under means your actual is more than your budget. So when actual cost is more than the budget, that is obviously your adverse position because cost is more than you are expecting. So that's why under means adverse. Overhead suppose as for example absorbed overhead is 15 and actual overhead is 10. 15, 10. That means your expectation is more than actual. That means your actual cost occurred less than you were expecting. So that's why there is over and that means favorable. So as a whole you can say under means adverse, over means favorable. So through this formula or rule you can find out the total fixed overhead variance. Clear? Then এখানে একটা খেয়াল রাখতে হবে. This is where overhead absorption rate per unit. Overhead absorption rate per unit. And this is actual activity. Actual activity means how many pens actually you produce, not budgeted. How many pens actually you produced. So this is the under over, and through this we can find out the total fixed overhead variance, right? Then this fixed overhead variance can also subdivided into different sub-variables. One is expenditure variance, another is fixed overhead volume variance. Fixed overhead expenditure variance is actual overhead minus budgeted overhead. budgeted overhead. So when you are comparing these two, actual overhead minus budget overhead, আমি যদি আগে দিই budget overhead minus actual overhead এরও কোনো সমস্যা না। এখন ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে actual overhead minus budget overhead. My main task is to compare the actual with the budget. If in this case my actual overhead is more than budget, that means my cost actually incurred more than I am expecting. That's why that will be adverse if cost is more. Clear? So আমরা বলতে পারি in this segment if the result is positive, that means adverse. Positive মানেই হচ্ছে actual cost more than budget, that's why the result will be positive. So positive, adverse. Negative, favorable. So এই positive negative মনে রাখার দরকার নাই, it's just composition, nothing more than that. Okay. So we have to compare whether my actual cost is more or less. Okay. Then আসো volume variance. The variance actually occurred because of the production, whether you produce more or less. So that is খেয়াল করো এখানে আবার ডিফারেন্ট actual number of unit produced minus budgeted number. Suppose you budget to produce 100 unit. Somehow because of the efficiency in that time, within that time your worker have been produced 150 unit. Expectation was 100 unit, but within that time your workers somehow manage themselves to produce more than your expectation. So when they are producing more, that means efficiency. So here more means favorable, less means adverse because of the number, not cost. Clear? But we have discussed that is in every cases of variance analysis you have to find out the costing. So এখান থেকে আমার নাম্বার আসবে না, right? If actual number is more, that is favorable, but এখানে কিন্তু actual overhead more, that means cost more, adverse. এই জিনিসগুলো না মিলেছে। Then I have to find out the total cost. So if actual is more here, in that case this is favorable, otherwise that is adverse. How much? এখানে আমরা ইউনিটের কথা বলছি না, we are talking about the unit produced, finished goods. That's why here it will be OAR, overhead absorption rate per unit. Rate per unit, OAR, overhead absorption rate per unit. Per unit কত টাকা? এটা কি বোঝা গেছে? এখন if you guys can find out this expenditure variance and volume variance, and then if you sum these two things or two components, then you can also find out the total fixed overhead variance. এটা বের করে দুটাকে যদি যোগ করি সেক্ষেত্রে I can find out this total fixed overhead variance. So you can find out fixed overhead variance either using this process, or if there are two different method or two different process result is there, by summing up you can find out the total fixed overhead. চারটা মনে রাখতে হবে, এটা বোঝা গেছে? এখন this volume variance also can be divided in two subhead. One is efficiency variance, another is capacity variance. Capacity variance. আমি উপরেগুলো মুছে ফেললাম। আচ্ছা, আমরা কোথায় ছিলাম? আমরা ভলিউম ভ্যারিয়েন্সে ছিলাম। So volume variance কে আমরা দুই ভাগে ভাগ করলাম, that is one is efficiency variance and another is capacity variance. Now we can also find out this. Efficiency variance. We have discussed, or we have already go through labor efficiency variance. In the case of finding out the variance of labor related cost, we can find out the labor efficiency variance. মনে আছে ওখানে বলে আসছিলাম, in the case of labor efficiency variance we have to compare between fixed and flex. Fixed and flex এর মধ্যে compare করতাম, and in the case of finding out the flex we use only the active hour. Here is active hour efficiency. এখানে in the case of volume efficiency variance, it will be just like the labor efficiency variance. ওখানে আমরা কম্পেয়ার করতাম ফিক্সড এন্ড ফ্লেক্সের মধ্যে কম্পেয়ার করতাম। ওখানে যেভাবে করে আসছি ওখানে আমরা ইউজ করতাম স্ট্যান্ডার্ড রেট, লেবার রেট পার আওয়ার, এখানে হবে ওয়ার পার আওয়ার, এইটা আমরা কম্পেয়ার করব। এন্ড ক্যাপাসিটি ভ্যারিয়েন্সের ক্ষেত্রে hour minus budgeted hour The thing is, here we'll differentiate between actual hour and budgeted hour total. You budget, that is within one day, in a day you will involve your workforce to do a specific kind of job for 4 hours. 4 ঘন্টা তারা অ্যাক্টিভ থাকবে, এরপরে তারা থাকতে পারে। But in somehow, if you can manage themselves to put in that job more than that hour, that means you are efficient in involving the workforce. So if actual hour is more, then that is favorable. If actual hour is less, then that is adverse. But we have to convert this according to cost. That's why here, ekhane ki hour asha? Hour. So here, where word absorption rate per hour. আগেরটা ছিল ওভারহেড অ্যাবজর্পশন রেট পার ইউনিট, এখানে ওয়ার পার আওয়ার। সো দিস ইজ দ্য স্ট্রাকচার দ্যাট ইউ হ্যাভ টু মেমোরাইজ টু ফাইন্ড আউট ডিফারেন্ট কাইন্ডস অফ ভ্যারিয়েন্স রিলেটেড টু দি ফিক্সড ওভারহেড। ক্লিয়ার? ওকে, এখন এটা যদি বোঝা যায়, আমরা একটা অঙ্ক করব কিন্তু পরে, তার আগে আরেকটা জিনিস আমরা করে নেব, অপারেটিং স্টেটমেন্ট। Operating statement. Operating statement. What do you mean by this? Operating statement means it's a process. Process. Here we try to find out the actual profit. কোত্থেকে বের করব? We try to find out this actual profit either from budgeted profit and budgeted contribution, but adjusting variances. The fact is, you guys will be provided budgeted profit. You have budgeted profit because budget actually be prepared earlier because then actual things happen. Budgeted profit, and it may be budgeted contribution, budgeted profit, or maybe budgeted contribution. Then some variance we have already discussed. Whatever the different kinds of variance, sales as well as cost variance. By adjusting those variance with these components, we can find out the actual profit. So it's a process method. This method is called operating statement. এখন this operating statement হতে পারে in the case of absorption cost, that means when you are using absorption cost means charging the full cost to a unit, full cost. So when you are charging full cost to a unit, deducting the full cost from the sales, deducting the full cost from the sales, it will provide you the profit. So when you are dealing with the absorption costing, then you will have budgeted profit. Budgeted profit, suppose as for example X is your budgeted profit. Sequence ta kya hai? First, when we discuss about the sales volume, sales price variance, another is sales volume variance. In the case of sales, there are two variants, sales price and sales volume variance. In the case of sales volume variance, we can find out sales volume profit variance, sales volume contribution variance. Here you are discussing about budgeted profit. That's why we have to adjust sales volume profit variance. Profit variance, suppose X. It may be adverse, it may be favorable. So adverse hole it should be deducted, favorable hole it should be added. So when you are adjusting sales volume profit variance with budgeted profit, it will provide you standard profit on actual sale. Standard profit on actual sale. এখন খেয়াল করো, after this we have discussed several kinds of variance. Sales এর মধ্যে there are sales price and sales volume. Sales volume is there, চলে আসছে, বাকি আছে কোনটা? Sales price. So sales price variance. Then material, labor, variable overhead, fixed, আমরা যা যা বের করে আসছি, material variance, material, labor, overhead, variable overhead, fixed overhead. So whatever the variances we have already discussed or we have already discussed in the calculation process, all those variances should be here. Some will be adverse, some may be favorable. So as a whole, when you are adjusting these sort of things, adverse means minus, favorable means sum up. So when you are adjusting these sort of things, adjustment, suppose the thing is either may be adverse or may be favorable. So when you adjust these sort of things, it will provide you the actual profit. Now, in your exam hall, what will be the types of question related to these segments? Suppose you guys may be provided total variance you are provided. Budgeted profit is there. The same profit on actual sale is there. You need to find out the sales volume profit variance. This is provided. This is there. So we can find out this. So any of the component will be missing, but other component will be provided. So by using this structure, you can find out the missing component. So this is all about absorption costing. Absorption costing আমরা কোথা থেকে আসলাম? Budgeted profit to actual profit. Now, if you guys are providing marginal cost, marginal cost Personnel cost এর ক্ষেত্রে you guys will be provided budget contribution. Budgeted contribution. Budget contribution. Suppose budget contribution is this one. তাহলে absorption costing আমরা শুরু করছিলাম কিন্তু budgeted profit দিয়ে। But in the case of personnel costing, we'll use budgeted contribution. তাহলে budget contribution যদি হয় sales volume কোনটা নিব? Sales volume contribution variance. Contribution variance, it may be adverse, it may be favorable. So when you are adjusting the sales volume contribution variance with budgeted contribution, it will provide you standard contribution on actual sale. Standard contribution. Then you have to deal with এখানে sales volume চলে গেছে, we have sales price variance, then we have to adjust sales price variance, material, labor, variable overheads. Here we will not discuss about the fixed overhead variance. Fixed overhead variance এখানে আনবো না. So when we adjust all these variance, it may be adverse, it may be favorable. It will provide us the actual contribution. Actual contribution. If you have the actual contribution, that means from budgeted contribution we find out the actual contribution. এখানে কিন্তু ফিক্সড ওভারহেডের কোনো ভ্যারিয়েন্স আনা হয়নি, বোঝা গেছে? অ্যাকচুয়াল হ্যাঁ,
উপরেটা বুঝতে না যে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড কন্ট্রিবিউশন অন অ্যাকচুয়াল সেল।
এই যে এটা when you adjust budget contribution with the sales volume contribution variance, it will provide you a standard contribution on actual sale.
এটা সূত্র প্লাস মাইনাস
if sales volume contribution variance adverse হতে পারে, ফেভারেবল হতে পারে, ব্যাপারটা এটা
যাই হবে প্লাস হয়ে যাবে
কেন
না, বেশি হলে
adverse হলে তো মাইনাস হবে,
আচ্ছা,
আর ফেভারেবল হলে প্লাস হবে। Then from this budgeted contribution you can find out the actual contribution. When you have the actual contribution, from this actual contribution, if you can deduct fixed cost originally incurred, then you can have the profit or loss. And finding out this fixed cost originally incurred, আমরা একটা এক্সপেন্ডিচার ভ্যারিয়েন্স দেখে আসছিলাম না ফিক্সড ওভারহেডে। এক্সপেন্ডিচার ভ্যারিয়েন্সে কি ছিল? অ্যাকচুয়াল ওভারহেড মাইনাস বাজেটেড ওভারহেড ইকুয়াল টু কি ছিল? ইকুয়াল টু আমাদের ফিক্সড ওভারহেড এক্সপেন্ডিচার ভ্যারিয়েন্স ছিল। সো ইফ ইউ হ্যাভ এক্সপেন্ডিচার ভ্যারিয়েন্স and budgeted variance, you can find out the fixed overhead actually incurred. We should produce করে বোঝা গেছে? বাট এখানে আমরা লিখলাম fixed cost originally incurred. So when you deduct this, it will provide you the profit generated. So this is the process or method, either using marginal costing or absorption costing. In the case of absorption costing, you can use the budgeted profit to find out the actual profit, and in the case of marginal costing, you can use the budget contribution to find out the actual profit. বোঝা গেছে? This is the sequence, you have to memorize this. Okay, এখন এই যে ভ্যারিয়েন্স আমরা দেখালাম, একটা ছোট একটা অঙ্ক দেখাই। এখানে যতগুলো অঙ্ক আছে সব আমি যেভাবে করব বলে দিছি সেভাবে করব না। এখন একটা ফুল লেন্থ ক্যালকুলেটর আছে আজকে? এখানে একটা ফুল অঙ্ক দেয়া আছে, দ্যাট ইজ 5.6 এর সমস্ত রকম ফিক্সড ওভারহেড ভ্যারিয়েন্স। So you can go through this in, it's a kind of homework. If you face any problem, you can ask me. সূত্র বলে দিছি, দেখাই দিছি, এটা তোমরা করে দেখবা। আমরা পরীক্ষায় যেমন ছোট 2 মার্কসের কোশ্চেন আসে, 2 মার্কসে সেরকম একটা কোশ্চেন নিয়ে আলোচনা করি। এখানে exam style question the direct labor rate and efficiency variances are এখানে পরবর্তীতে অনেকগুলো কোশ্চেন দেওয়া আছে ওকে বাদ বাকি যে কোশ্চেনগুলো আমরা ওই যে এক্সাম কিট থেকে করে দিব আমি এক্সাম কিট নিয়ে আসছো ওকে সো দিস ইজ end of this today's class and this is all about variance analysis